So here's a quick review of what the quiz is on. So we're solving quadratics by factoring. You should press pause and write down these steps. So step 1 is make the equation equal to 0. Step 2, factor. Step 3, each factor equal to 0 and solve. So press pause and make sure you write this down. Here are the examples. Number 1. So x squared plus 6x plus 8 equal to 0. Step 1 is equal to 0. Done. Step 1's done. Step 2 is factor. So two numbers that multiply to 8 and the same two numbers add to 6. So we find those two numbers. Now we take each factor equal to 0 and solve them. So the first one I'm going to subtract 4. And my one answer there is negative 4. Here I'm going to subtract 2 to get x by itself. And my second answer is negative 2. All right, let's try it again. This is called a difference of squares, so it's equal to 0. Step 1 done. A difference of squares, we factor it by square rooting. And then one factor is adding, and one factor is subtracting. So I take one adding, one subtracting, and then solve it. So subtract 4, and one answer is negative 4. Add 4, and the other answer is positive 4. Now, what would happen if it wasn't equal to 0? So here we have an equation not equal to 0. So to make it equal to 0, we're going to subtract 10x. And now it's equal to 0. Make sure, like terms, we subtract. Now we can factor, and now you can solve. So one factor is x minus 9. The other factor is x plus 1. Both equal to 0. Add 9. Subtract 1, and you have the two answers. All right, one more, right? Before that, make sure we know what we're doing. So write this down, and we want it equal to 0 and solve it. So first I'm going to subtract 4x, and then I'm going to subtract 5. So I do the opposite sign, right? The inverse of each one. And then line it up with like terms over on this side. So we make sure it's equal to 0. So x squared, 5 take away 4 is 1x. And then negative 1 subtract 5 is negative 6. So step 1 is equal to 0. Step 2 is to factor it. So two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to 1. So we find those two numbers. And then I take each factor equal to 0 and solve it. So we're going to subtract 3. I'm going to add 2. And there you go. All right, Mr. G Math, over and out. Good luck on the quiz. I hope this review helped. Till next time.